Live from Studio B and KPRC2. Houston Life starts now.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Houston Life. It is Wednesday, May 11th. I'm Courtney Savala.
Hi, Courtney. Hi, everyone. I'm Derek Shore. Glad to have you with us today. Coming up on the show, the one and only Michael Bublé. Also Courtney Zavala. But listen, Mr. Bublé is a Grammy Award-winning superstar, and he's bringing his popular tour to Houston. Courtney will get a sneak peek of what fans can expect from the concert.
Can't wait to see that. And we have a candid conversation with Houston icon JOANNE King-Herring. You may know her as a socialite with connections to the celebrity world, but she wants to tackle Houston's toughest problems.
She is a legend. Also from Broadway to the Bayou City, the special event that's bringing some of Broadway's finest stars to Houston. What they are doing to give back to our homeless youth. Very, very nice. But before we get to that, how about a check of today's forecast?
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
It's hot. It seems like a broken record.
Deja vu, Frank.
No, I mean, you know, it is. It's hot and it's humid and it feels even warmer. At least there's a bit of a breeze to kind of cool you down a little bit. No?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, it gets breezy. At least around dinner time, it gets a little breezier. So look for that. In the meantime, here's a look outside. It's hard to find much in the way of cloud cover. There are a few out there to hide under, but not a lot. Temperatures upper 80s to 90 in Brenham, 91 in Columbus and Huntsville. Cleveland is at 91. It feels more like 96 up that way. 93 in Conroe, 92 Houston, 91 at the beach. So everybody feels like they're in the 90s, and there are those southeast winds that continue. If you're walking the dog, Daisy looks like she's about to jump in there. 92, 88 at 5 and 6, 84 at 7, so it remains warm. I did want to alert you to this. We'll talk more about this at 3:30. But unhealthy air quality readings for sensitive groups, which means if you have any kind of upper respiratory problems, then you want to be particularly careful with the air quality. In fact, it looks like it's going to last through Saturday, which also indicates that we may get a rain chance to change things on Saturday. We'll talk more about that coming up.
And Frank, I can hear the allergies in your voice too. AJ got it.
Better, though.
I'm getting it now too. You've had it, so I feel like we're in this revolving door with the heat and everything else that's going on. So
yeah. It's the jasmine and the ligustrum that just kill me.
Oh,
you know, all those little white flowers.
The jasmine is beautiful though.
It's beautiful and it smells great.
Bless our hearts.
But it eats me.
Well, and with bad air quality, too, it's a reminder that instead of exercising outside, you might want to take things indoors for a few days.
Yeah, and that air quality is partly the burning, the agricultural burning down in Mexico, some of that smoke and those fine particulates coming up here. So it's not just ozone, it's also a little light smoke.
Okay.
So watch out.
Okay, more bad news. Well, thanks so much, Frank. We'll see you in just a minute.
It's here to lighten it up.
We're keeping it real here on Houston Life. Well, listen, along with the heat, last night we went downtown. We had this great dinner, Bayou and Bottle, one of our favorite spots. I know you love it, too.
Yes, amazing.
Super casual, easygoing. We had dinner with our friend Carrie. When we got home, though, we realized that once again, our trash company in our neighborhood doesn't seem to show up.
Are you kidding me?
All the time. If they actually show up on the day when they are scheduled to show up, it's like a miracle, right? So what happens when it's hot outside and people have their trash left unpicked up for days, Courtney? What do you think happens?
Oh, no. Oh, no. You have a maggot situation, don't you?
Well, I think inside the trash cans, they might be growing. But outside, it's like a roach festival. Oh. It's like Coachella for roaches in our neighborhood.
No.
Yes, it's so bad. And then this morning, I saw this story. This is happening in New York City. So as workers are reemerging from the pandemic, so are these little ones.
No.
I know, they're kind of cute. They're rats. They're rats. And the Associated Press is reporting more and more rat sightings. Courtney, people call 311 in New York to report rats. There's like a hotline for it.
Oh.
311 is like the service line.
They're supposed to do that.
Well, it's like whatever you need, you can call 311
But do
as
they
a service line.
want people to call 311 for the rat problem, or no?
Well, yeah, because there are different ways that they're handling it. So anyway.
They're probably perfectly good chefs here. Did you ever see the movie Ratatouille?
I did. It's so cute. But in real life, it can be kind of alarming because rats carry disease and that can affect humans and sometimes it can be fatal. Here's the thing though. So in 10 years, rat sightings in New York City are at an all-time high.
I'm getting the willies.
At an all-time high. So just for context, 10,500 sightings in all of 2010. So far this year, more than 8,000 rat sightings.
So someone's pinpointing? Is there like a little rat map where we're putting little pins in?
You know, there should be. So there's some theories, right? Maybe it's because more people are spending time outside. So maybe more people are just seeing the rats because they're outside. But also
More
because
visible.
dining has moved outdoors.
Yes.
Then you have all these little critters who are like waiting just inside the storm drains and next to the planters, waiting for a little crumb or morsel to fall off the
Okay,
table.
listen. I love a good New York trip, okay? I do. But what
I thought you were going to say, I love a good rat.
No,
Same.
I love a good New York
I've
trip. But
dated
what
a
I'm
few.
going to say, I mean, this doesn't seem out of the norm. It's a big city. Rats are a problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you grew up in Chicago. So, like,
Yes.
what's the big deal? We have them here in Houston. If our trash company would pick up our trash, we might have fewer rats.
Oh, my
anyway, so that's my story. That's what I have.
That's super gross. I think you have to start freezing your garbage until later notice, because in the summer, you know, you freeze your garbage, right? You freeze.
Well, some people do,
Some people
Courtney.
do.
I don't.
Not all of my garbage, but, you know, if there's a rotisserie chicken that I'm deboning.
You must have a large freezer.
I
at
don't.
home,
It just-
Courtney. How do you have room to freeze your trash?
There's no food in it. It's just trash. Anyway, speaking of food, you know I love a good collab, good collaboration.
Oh, yeah, me
Cup
too.
of noodles, you a fan? Yes, you are.
I like-
Everybody loves cup of noodles.
You
You
know
have a
what?
cup of noodle story.
I don't. I love ramen noodles. Not a big fan of cup of noodles.
Well, this is it, right? It's the same. Okay, the
little
packaging
different.
is
It's
very
different.
recognizable, right? Cup of noodles, you know, you pour
Oh.
the hot water, let it seep for like 2 minutes. Guess what? Now you can get all of the colorways here in a, what do you call it?
Like in a compact?
Like a compact, like
an
a
eyeshadow
makeup
collection?
a palette. That's the word I was looking for.
Wow, your
so
dreams
this is
have come
by
true.
Los Angeles-based beauty brand Hip Dot. It is available on Hip Dot on their website. The new collection includes eyeshadow, lip, and cheek tint in a special collector's box that looks like cup of noodles. Also being sold at Ulta, only online, because I did do the deep dive for y'all. And listen, the shades for the palette, very ramen inspired, including diced carrot, hot and spicy roasted corn, and seasoning. I'm gonna get it.
Do they come with like a fragrance or do they have a flavor to them?
No,
You
it's
don't-
just the
It's
color
just the
palette.
color.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid that the orange one would be like cayenne pepper and it would burn your little eyebrows
No.
right off.
It's not like a scratch and sniff or like it feels like hot pepper. It's just looking like the colors.
That
the palette.
is fascinating.
I did post it on my KPRC2 Facebook page if you want to take a gander.
You can wear your Cup of Noodles eyeshadow along
And-
with the Balenciaga Croc combo. How
and
about that?
eat your noodles all at the same time. You're covering all kinds of bases and trendy things.
Courtney Zavala, thank you for bringing us this news.
Listen,
That
I know it's earth-shattering.
Very important update. Hey, so in addition to like the rat population explosion during COVID,
Yeah.
you know casinos right now, they are booming. So in March, casinos in the U.S. had
Okay.
their best month ever. $5.3 billion they brought in from gamblers. So inflation has been soaring, right? And people are complaining about the cost of
Yeah,
everything, gasoline,
saving.
groceries, everything. But it turns out people are gambling like their life depends on it. So in the first quarter of this year, I mean, thanks to March, but the first quarter, casinos are reporting their best quarter in history.
That's really...
Well, I know. What do you think it is? Do you think people are like hoping to win big so they can pay for the more expensive groceries and gas?
I don't know. Or maybe it's just the thrill of the chase because all of these pots are kind of big. I mean, I know that's different than playing the lotto, right? Because, you know, you're actually going into a casino. I'm not a big gambler. I'll sit at a table for a minute, but I'd rather walk away with something because I know I'm just giving them whatever it is.
But what if you had like a specific amount of money that then you knew like, okay, I'm going to put in like, I don't know, $10 or like $5. And then if you lose it, you're expecting not to go home with it anyway.
Right. I'd rather go to Starbucks.
Yeah, you know what?
know?
I would too. I'm not a gambler either.
Here's my problem. You know me and math. So it takes me a second. And so if I have to play, let's say blackjack, and I have to do a quick ad, it kind of gives me a little bit of anxiety.
You know, we have a coworker named Susan Miller who lives upstairs. She works upstairs.
She lives in this building.
She lives here. She's here all the time. She works so much. But she and her husband, Scooter, Scott, they are big blackjack players.
I love it.
I don't understand it. I never learned how to play. So could you teach me?
Well, no, because I'm not real good at it.
Okay.
Maybe they can.
Okay.
But the good thing is when you have a good dealer, they'll help you. They'll kind of, but I feel like you should learn not probably at a good, like at a casino.
Yeah.
Maybe go to like a party
Yeah, or watch
where
a
it's
YouTube
not-
video. I'm sure you can learn it online.
Because then the people next to you will get mad if you do something and they don't approve of. There's like seat rules.
Yeah.
Unwritten rule. Anyway,
Okay.
We'll go to Vegas sometime. Okay, we love HEB, our friends at HEB. This is crazy. They have a brand new debut happening at their New Braunfels HEB. For the very first time, they're offering home decor.
This is so cool.
And smart, right?
Well, I mean, think when you go to a store like Target, you can get your groceries and you can get like a Joanna Gaines pillow, but it looks like HEB's jumping into the game.
This is brilliant to me. You can get candles, pillows, accent furniture, rugs, cutting boards, blankets, and more. It's going to be over in 100 stores in the next 3 years and 25 stores by the end of 2022.
Okay, so maybe here in Houston, right?
Maybe, hasn't said, but the closest one to us obviously would be New Braunfels. But yeah, go check it out. That's a serious problem for me.
What?
Well, then I'm getting groceries and I'm shopping for home stuff and all under one roof.
Yeah.
And HEB.
Is it a problem
I'm never
or a
coming home.
solution? We'll never see you again. Actually, one of our coworkers one morning, her baby spit up all over her when she was dropping him off for daycare. And so she was able to go to, I don't remember which grocery store it was, but there was a little apparel section in the grocery store.
Got a new top.
She got a nice little muumuu. It was pretty.
It wasn't a muumuu.
Or like a Hawaiian something?
No, it wasn't anything near it. It was a cute little peasant top.
Oh.
It wasn't a boo-boo.
What's a peasant top?
Like a cute little puffy sleeve number.
Oh, I thought that was a
like
muumuu.
A square neck. No.
Oh, what's a muumuu? A gown.
Like a caftan.
nightgown. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a caftan.
It was not.
It was
She had
pretty
pants
though,
on.
and it came from the grocery store.
It did.
Worked
It was
out.
super cute.
It was
Okay,
great.
still to come. If you're still with us, thank you. We're going to have a fun chat with multi-platinum superstar Michael Bublé. The Grammy Award-winning entertainer is hitting the road for a brand new tour, and we'll tell you when he's going to be here in Houston.
Oh, he's so good in concert. Also, Houston icon Joanne King-Herring, she will join us live in studio, fresh off her trip from the United Nations. We're going to find out what she's doing to solve some tough issues in our area. That's when Houston Life returns right after this.
Well, welcome back to Houston Life. It's time now for our H-Town Sit Down.
Let's meet today's distinguished guest.
Businesswoman, socialite, and philanthropist Joanne King-Herring is a fixture in Houston. At 93 years old, she works every day to help underserved communities. Herring's role in arranging arms support for Afghanistan played a key role in the fall of the Soviet Union. The story was chronicled in the film Charlie Wilson's War, starring Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts, who played Joanne. Herring has since founded Help Them Where They Are, an initiative that helps starving war victims survive and flourish. She's also passionate about fighting human trafficking. Her humanitarian efforts recently earned her the United Nations Women for Peace Association's Lifetime Achievement Award. And she joins us today on Houston Life.
And Joanne King-Herring is in studio, back once again at KPRC2. And this is familiar territory for you, Joanne, because you had a program here in the 1970s.
Yes, the Joanne King Show.
And back in that day, you were just telling us during commercial break, you said people didn't want you. Your coworkers didn't want you. The viewers didn't want you. You truly are a pioneer because back during that time, women were rarely seen on television.
They weren't seen at all. That was the thing. The people that put me on television were the first ones to think of having a woman. And nobody wanted one, as you said. And they didn't know what to do with me. And quite honestly, I said, well, now, what am I going to do on this show? They said, what do you like to do? I said, well, I like to learn. And they said, okay, try it. Nobody told me anything. They didn't help me. They didn't give me any instructions. They just put me on the air, and there I was. And hello.
Well, they're looking at this photo here. And Joanne, when you look back at that, do you think that they were waiting for you to fail, or were they waiting for you to succeed?
I don't know. I never, you see, we were owned by a group in New York, and they kind of thought that was a nifty thing to have a woman on. And I had been talking about salacious stories because my grandmother, she actually was my great aunt, but she was the only grandmother I ever had. So she had been on the Seamen's mission, and this woman came in with 5 kids, and they turned her away. They said, "We don't take women." So my grandmother took her home, and 5 children. And so my grandfather didn't think that was a very good idea, so he bought a house the next day, and the Women's Christian Mission, which today is known as a women's home, was born. And because there was nothing for women. And so my grandmother said, you know, they had 2 houses by this time, women living in the garages. We didn't realize how much need there was. And you can look up the Women's Home and you will find that this is a wonderful organization.
Oh, go ahead, continue.
But I said in those days there just weren't any. And this was very important, we thought. So we kept trying to raise money. And my grandmother said, well, you raise the money. So I went out and talked to everybody about it, and I thought, well, the best thing I can do is tell them these really awful stories. And the money started pouring in. And not only that, but a letter from a television station saying, would you like to do our noon show? And I was so horrified, I put it in my desk and I didn't even look at it. Then finally I showed it to my family and they said, what? You on TV? Never. A lady is never in the news except when she's born, when she's married, and when she dies. Wow. You are not going to be on television. I said, well, why don't you pray about it? And they did. And they said it was neither their will nor the Lord's. And I said, but it's my will.
Wow.
But I went on there. I have to tell you this. I was terrible.
No.
You know, it was terrible. All the guys at the station would look at each other and can imagine that they would actually pay somebody to be that bad. But everybody, and you know this, if you're willing to work longer and harder than anybody else, you can succeed. And finally I did. And that was nice.
I'm sure you were fantastic. And what's incredible, just sitting with you, Joanne, and hearing these stories, you have this drive, sort of like a built-in thing about you. You have this ability to help people see a situation in a different way. And looking online and reading your history, I encourage our viewers to do it, JoanneHerring.com. You have done so many different things, but you never took no for an answer. Where did that come from?
My father, who was the first All-American from the Southwest Conference, and he just learned in football you had to get across that line, right? So I was never allowed not to, and I was an only child, and I thought it was a boy. So did everybody. But back to this, television in those days was so different, but it was very interesting because I had all the movie stars. That was fun. Because in those days, they made tours. And they toured to showcase their newest movie. So that was fun, and I enjoyed them. And people said, oh, my goodness, you had John Wayne. Oh, my goodness, you had Clint Eastwood. Or why didn't you tell me? Why couldn't I come to the station? Well, those two were interesting, but not all of them. You all are much more interesting.
Oh, well, we love that. Okay, when we come back, don't go anywhere. We're going to continue our conversation. We're going to talk about this beautiful award and your trip to the UN. Joanne King Herring is going to continue this great conversation.
Yeah, and that trip to the United Nations, plus some special guests we have in studio who accompanied you. So stay right there. Houston Life. We'll be right back.
We are back with businesswoman, philanthropist, world traveler, the lovely Joanne King Herring. And it's lovely that you're staying with us for a second segment. And we want to talk about your latest trip to the United Nations. This was such an unbelievable moment for you, as I know, as you were honored.
Well, thank you. I was very surprised, but delighted and honored to receive it, of course. But what was really fun is that I had 20 of my friends go with me, all one more beautiful than the other. And every time we went anywhere, oh, and this is Vicki Hollub, who, I have to tell you about Vicki, is the first woman chairman of a major oil company.
Wow.
And that is really something. I think, introducing her right now on that photograph, but.
Surrounded by powerful women, and the women, some of the ones who accompanied you to the United Nations, they're in our studio today. Hi, ladies. You can wave and say hello. And this really is indicative of, JOANNE, your philosophy that it takes a community. You're all about building community and getting other people to stand up
together.
and work together.
Because that's what we have to do. None of us are big enough to pull the whole plow. And we need to work together, and it's so much easier. So if we're going to have a mule, you have to have one. And the girls have got to get up, and the boys have got to get up and pull that plow, like you just said, Debbie. Thank you. I have a story about that. I was at Home Depot one day, and there was the Rolls Royce, and it was really fabulous. So I was looking at it, and the man came out, and he said, "Oh, you like my car?" I said, "Oh, yes, it's beautiful." He said, "Yeah, always wanted one. That's why I became a plumber."
Wow.
Wow.
And just think about that. He took a job nobody would want, doing things nobody would want to do, and took it because that was all that was open to him. And he made enough money by probably inventing a widget for other plumbers and putting a plumber company together, and he ended up with a Rolls Royce. And the same thing is true of Vicki Hollub, who is now chairman of Occidental Petroleum. She took every nasty job in the world, all over the world, and she ended up as the CEO of this company, which now is second only to Exxon in size.
It's incredible.
It really is. Let's talk about something that's very near and dear to your heart. And this is really an issue that is not only around the world, but right here in our backyard. This is something very big, and we're talking about human trafficking. And this is something that you stand firm on. It needs to end.
Thank you, Debbie. We don't realize that Houston is number one.
Number one.
Human trafficking in the world. Because we are a sort of axis from which ports and rail lines and things like that. And unfortunately, this has gone from human trafficking to organ trafficking. And this is the most heinous crime, hideous, that has ever been perpetrated against humanity, because many times they don't even use anesthetic. They just tape their mouths and cut out their organs. And Debbie said I could say that.
Wow. And I mean, for viewers at home watching, what is your advice to them? And we are tight on time, but is there something, and I know Houstonians are aware of this issue, many of us feel very helpless. What can we do to help improve the future of Houston?
Everybody can help. How? This is so important. If every person would just pick one person who needs help, you can do a great deal. See, these kids that are drawn into human trafficking are not just kidnapped off the street, but they are led into it. Now, how could you help that? Okay, you could help a foster child. This has been something all my life I have fought for. Those children have done nothing except be born in the wrong family. They need friends. They need somebody to help them, somebody to care about them. If you just took that child with you whenever you go to the movie or whenever you go anywhere, it's just one more sandwich on a picnic. But really, we're friends of that one child the same week, every week of your life, or maybe even just a year. You could change that life. And same way, old people, people in need, in every possible way. You could go to your church. Who are we helping here? Not just having a big gala, which is wonderful too, of course, but people don't often look at what happens to the money. And where is the money going? We need to go into excuse me, I get so excited about specific things, which are they have to be rehabilitated. This takes for a long time, and they have to have jobs and so forth. This is very, very important. important. And you could help. Everybody could help.
A simple act. Joanne King Herring, we've got to leave it there. We're out of time, but it's great to see you. Thanks for stopping by Houston Life, and thanks for all your life lessons.
Well, you're sweet. Thank you.
And we do have a link to connect with Joanne on our website. Just look for the Scene on Houston Life section.
What a treat to catch up. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back to Houston Live. Courtney and Derek back with you at 3:30.
That was a nice chat we just had with
Absolutely.
the one and only Joanne King Herring. That was fun.
Great. All right, let's check in with Keith, Christine, and Frank for a look at what they have coming up at the top of the hour. Hi, guys.
Hey there, yeah, great conversation it was
Yeah.
for sure. All right, rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, another hot, humid day when it comes to the weather, Frank.
I'll tell you what, I think this is going to be sort of the rinse and repeat for a while.
Line up.
Yeah, get ready. Get those rags ready. Okay, temperature has been the same. We actually saw some drier air in the upper levels move in, so temperatures started down around 70 this morning. So at least we're in the mid and upper 80s. A couple of 90s, 91s out there in Brenham, Huntsville, Columbus. The humidity is certainly there. It feels like 92, 93, 94, 95, 96 in Huntsville. So that's with us with these southeast winds transporting plenty of humidity, which hopefully might change into a little rain shower, but it's not going to be until Saturday. We'll talk about that at 4. These are the records. We're going to get close at Bush, it looks like, 94. We may tie the record at Hobby. Galveston's going to get close, but so far we don't have too much of a threat there. Temperatures will stay right there in the upper 80s. If you're going to take Daisy for a walk, she may just beat you into that little lake right there. In the meantime, I've got air quality unhealthy today. That means for sensitive groups, and if you have any upper respiratory problems, watch out there. That's going to last at least through Saturday. This is what it looks like across parts of our area. You can see those are the counties affected by this. Even into Dallas, they have an air quality warning. We've got a lot of little smoke particulates that are coming in along with the ozone, but no rain on that radar as you saw. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 94, 94, 94. The record for Thursday is 92. The record for Friday is 94 and 93 on Saturday. So record heat continues as we move into the weekend. Hopefully that 20% happens for at least some of you. I'll show you the futurecast at 4 o'clock.
Good. We'll talk to you in a bit, Frank. Thank you. And here are some of the stories we're covering for you at 4 o'clock today. New developments regarding the shortage of baby formula. Ask any parent or grandparent of a little child. They're going to tell you that it's really difficult to find right now. What the FDA is doing to increase the supply.
Some good news about inflation. It has seemed to slow down a little bit. What do experts think will happen as we move forward? We'll take a closer look.
Plus, the wild story about a passenger who took over the controls of a plane after the pilot had a medical emergency. That passenger had no flying experience. Hear from the air traffic control operator who helped that passenger bring the plane down safely. And we're also covering a lot of breaking news this afternoon as well, you guys.
Unbelievable. Wow. That video is really incredible. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you at the top of the hour. Do appreciate it. Well, you know what? It is a club no one wants to be part of, but 1 in 8 women in the U.S. will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. That is scary. The majority of these women also don't have a family history. That's why prioritizing your health is so important. Board-certified breast radiologist Dr. Michelle Agrons with Memorial Hermann is joining me now to have this great conversation. Dr. Agrons, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. Let's first talk about the importance of mammograms. I think some people hear this and it might be some white noise. We understand, we know that we should get these screenings, but this is so important. This is the key to early detection.
That's correct, Courtney. And like you said, 1 in 8 women in this country will have breast cancer sometime in their life. And these women will not, most of them will not have a family history of breast cancer or even present with symptoms. So screening mammograms is where we detect these cancers. Additionally, breast cancer is the leading cancer to affect women in the United States and the second leading cause of cancer death. So the screening mammogram is so important. It's been shown to be the best tool that we have to diagnose cancer at an early stage when cancer is the most treatable. It's also at the time when breast cancer-related death it can be avoided and the numbers reduced the most.
Absolutely. As you said, mammograms save lives. This is also having this yearly screening gives us a baseline as we women, as we age and do this every year. It's an effective way to stay on top of our health. Let's talk about the specifics. Who should get their mammogram?
Okay, and that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So health experts recommend that all women with average risk of breast cancer get a screening mammogram beginning at age 40 and get an annual mammogram thereafter. These are women regardless of their family history, regardless of any symptoms. Additionally, there will be women who are at higher risk of breast cancer, like women who do have family histories or other genetic situations. And those are women who should speak to their healthcare provider and schedule their screening accordingly, which will probably be earlier than the women who are at average risk. Also, certainly if a woman has unusual symptoms, even if she's between screening mammograms, say you're on track with your yearly mammograms and you have some unusual symptoms in between, such as unusual or focal breast pain, a palpable finding in your breast or in your underneath your arm, a lump, or any type of skin changes, nipple discharge, especially if it's clear or bloody. All of those things should prompt a woman to speak to her healthcare provider and come in to get imaging as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Pay attention to our bodies. We know it best. The process, too, doctor, is very easy. Some women may think, oh, I'm nervous. I hear it hurts. All of these things. Let's talk about the process, because as soon as you're in there, it's almost as soon as you're out. It's very quick.
Yeah, that's a great thing. So they are anxiety-provoking mammograms and waiting for the results, and that's normal. It's okay to be concerned. What we do here at Memorial Hermann is the best that we can to keep people as comfortable throughout the process. We have very well-trained technicians, state-of-the-art technology. We can get diagnostic imaging very quickly so that the patient can be in and out fairly quickly. We try to keep people as comfortable as possible. And then as radiologists, we try to read the studies within a reasonable amount of time so that most patients have answers within a few days.
And this is also, doctor, a great time to schedule your mammogram as we are celebrating Women's Health Week. So here's your soapbox. Tell everybody that they need to go out and get screened.
Almost definitely. I would love to have this opportunity to tell women, please make this a priority. Make your health a priority. Schedule your screening mammogram. Make sure you stay on top of it once a year. This is how we detect cancers early. This is how we are able to treat cancer and reduce the morbidity and mortality that's related to breast cancer for you and for all of those around you.
Early detection saves lives, as we have said. Michelle Aragons, thank you so much for being with us today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. To schedule a mammogram or to learn more, you can visit memorialhermann.org/mammo or give them a call, 877-40-MAMMO. By the way, if you've already had your screening this year, reach out to your bestie, your neighbor, your cousin, and ask them if they've had theirs, okay? Early detection saves lives. Derek, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, Courtney, that is so true. Thanks so much. Still ahead, superstar entertainer Michael Bublé had a chat with Lauren Kelly about his brand new tour coming to Houston. We'll have that in just a bit, but first, let's check in with Mr. Joe Sam. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Derek, that's right. Get ready for an evening of Broadway performances. I'll tell you how you can enjoy some fine music while helping fight homelessness in our community. Houston Life will be right back. Welcome back to Houston Life. Some of Broadway's finest stars like Neil Berg, Rita Harvey with Phantom of the Opera and Fiddler on the Roof, and Richard Todd Adams of Les Mis are coming to Houston and partnering up with Covenant House, Texas to help support teens experiencing homelessness. I spoke with the Covenant House resident to find out how events like these really change his output on life. Meet Jokey, a 24-year-old with a comedic personality, but experienced a common issue that's no joking matter.
So I was out of the house.
After disagreeing with his mother about his education, he was only given one option.
She didn't want me to go back to the school, so I was like, oh, okay. And then she said, you gotta go to HEC or you're out. And I was like, okay. So I did. She put me to an apartment, like, buy it. Stuff started going downhill because she was like, you gotta pay for it. And I couldn't get a job around the area because I was like, what's going on? So then yeah, then, you know, homelessness.
According to the Coalition for the Homeless of Houston, in Harris County, over 3,000 people are without a home, including teens from the ages of 13 to 24.
So I was at HEC Southeast Campus, and they saw my situation, they noticed what was going on, and I was like, here it is. And then they gave me a list of homeless shelters. So this one was for 18 to 24, and I was like, this is it. Yeah, we'll try it.
Covenant House, Texas is the largest Harris County youth emergency shelter to date. In 2014, they served over 3,000 underserved youth and have continued that service with other young adults like Jokey.
I was in a new situation. I hadn't experienced something like this before, I mean, obviously. And they were welcoming. You know, they weren't all like, oh my gosh, it's really scary, you're gonna do this and that. You know, it was just like, calm down, relax, take it step by step, day by day.
And so he did, focusing on his education and pursuing his passion of acting while having a warm, safe place to now call home after being homeless for almost 5 years.
It taught me how to bring who I am to the light. I just wouldn't really say who I was, like, you know, an actor and whatnot, right? So being here, being through things was like, oh, okay, who are you really, you know? And these few years have helped me bring that out.
The shelter helps teens do so with exciting programs that pique their interest, like A Night with the Stars, bringing the power of Broadway and the performing arts right to their doorsteps.
I think it's something that can be viewed as trying to help us be motivated, showing us that this is not it, you know, this is just not the end. We can still go become something successful in our lives, you know, like people who have been homeless have done, like, you know, Jennifer Lopez and whatnot, right? Like, she's done it, she's made it, you know? We can still do that too.
Now you'll be able to see Jokey at the inaugural Night of Broadway Stars kicking off May 26th with proceeds supporting more events and programs just like this one to continue helping kids get out of homelessness and into a successful future. For more information on how you can attend, I'll have links up on our website, HoustonLife.tv. He mentioned Jennifer Lopez. I didn't even know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Right before she got her big break that she was homeless. And he used her as an inspiration for himself because he wants to be an actor as well.
Yeah.
So this Broadway, this Night of Broadway Stars is going to really be great for him. He's going to be doing some acting on stage. He says he's not really much of a singer, but he'll do some acting while the performances are going on.
It's a really incredible story. Lizzo as well talks about living out of her car. You know, homelessness is something I think that so many of us are connected to, maybe, and we don't realize it either because so many people try to hide it. And it's really incredible that he shared that story.
He's such a great man, and I'm thinking that once he gets to college, he's going to really expand his acting career and really go big. So I'm hoping to see him on the big screen someday.
I think we will.
Fingers crossed. I think so too. Thanks, Joe.
No problem.
And speaking of talented performers, Lauren Kelly is standing by with a crooner you don't want to miss. Hi, Lauren. You're talented too. You both are.
You're way too kind, but let's leave that to Michael Bublé. He is heading back to Houston for a new tour in the fall. And do you think he'd make a quick stop to perform at my wedding? Oh, you bet I asked him. Find out what he said and get a sneak peek at what you can expect from his upcoming concert. That is when Houston Life returns. We'll be right back. Michael Bublé is the ultimate crooner, known for his incredible voice and his own versions of old school favorites like Feelin' Good, Cry Me a River, and To Love Somebody, just to name a few. He released his latest album, Higher, back in March, and now he's hitting the road to come see everybody in person on his new tour. I got to have a super fun chat with one of my favorite artists who needs no introduction.
Whoa, because when you go my fire, I might be falling for you, I don't know. I think it might be what you came here for. Whoa, when you go low and I get high.
Well, hi everybody, it's Michael Bublé, and this is my newest hit, Houston. It's only 3 words, and it goes, I'm going back to Houston, Houston, Houston. I like it.
Hey, Michael Bublé, thank you so much for joining us today. We are huge, huge fans here in Houston, Texas. I'm so excited the latest album, Higher, is out now. And let me just tell you something. With a Michael Bublé album, it's really a mixture of everything. You're getting that old school sound, you're getting some new tunes, and you're also getting a duet with the great Willie Nelson. Tell me a little bit more about this album, Michael.
Well, you know what? I'm so proud of it. It was a joy. I made it with a lot of love, and I made it with people that I love a lot, and I made it for people that I love. So it was basically just a beautiful note in a time when I felt like I needed it. Listen, let's be honest. The world has sucked for a couple years, and it's not been wonderful to go through the anxiety and fear and the unknown. And so you can imagine for me how cathartic it was to get to make music and to get to try to be a part of the solution and part of healing. And more than that, now I get to come out and I get to show up at the Toyota Center and I get to actually not be on Zoom. And I get to actually put on a beautiful night where for 2 hours we get to dance and sing and be normal and be connected. And
Absolutely.
I think I need those people. I don't know if they need me as much as I need them, but I definitely need them.
Michael, let me tell you, we need you. We definitely need you here. And hey, you're coming back to Houston. That date is September 13th, like you said, Toyota Center. Since you have so many beautiful songs and such a lengthy career, how do you even choose which songs for the tour? I know mainly it's going to focus on the album Higher, but you sprinkle in those favorites of ours. How do you even pick?
Well, firstly, you know what? That's a great question. I think the first thing I do is I make sure that I don't leave out anything that you, as a listener of my music, would like. So, I mean, that means every hit song. That means the big ones, the Feeling Goods, the Homes, the Cry Me River, or I Just Haven't Met You Yet. You know, I won't leave those out. I never want to be one of those weird, indulgent artists where you sing a bunch of your new originals and people don't really know. And I like to sprinkle the new stuff in, but really I just want it to be a cavalcade of hits. I mean, I missed it big time.
I remember catching your show 12 years ago in Houston, and I walked away telling people, this guy, if he was not a singer, this man would be a stand-up comedian because you had the charm, you had the audience the entire time. I was blown away. So anybody who has never seen a Michael Bublé show, I would highly, highly recommend it. Michael, you do such a wonderful job.
Lauren?
Yes, I am here.
You
Michael.
loved it so much it took you 12 more years to come
No.
You loved me so much it took you 12 more years to come and see me again?
No, Michael, that was just the first one.
13th. Lauren, I miss you.
I miss you too. And Michael, let me tell you,
for so long.
I got to meet you that show, and I lost all of my words because I was so starstruck. But the one thing I was able to get out was, hey, Michael, you know what? One day when I get married, I'm going to invite you to my wedding, and you're going to play for me. And you said, Lauren, you know what? We're such best friends that, yes, I will do that. And Michael, I just so happen to be getting married in October, and I'm going to invite you to the wedding, and I will give you a +1. Does that work?
Yes, and I will sing. I will be there. Can
Michael,
you pay me in beer and hot dogs?
Oh,
that is all I'm asking.
I've got your open bar covered, not to mention that My First Dance is one of your songs. And you know what we can have while we're there? I know that you might not be able to see it, but I've got Bubbly. Bublé Bubbly. I'm going to open it. I'm going to crack it right now. There we go. We're going to toast to this. This is making it official right now.
What's the first dance song?
Okay, lean into your screen. I'm going to whisper it because I can't tell everybody. Lean in. I'm going to tell you a secret. Ready? It's...
Oh, I love that song.
Me too. That's why we chose. My God! No, you can't. Don't give it away.
I think people just gave back their tickets to my show.
September 13th, the Higher Tour. We wouldn't miss it. Michael, thank you so much. We are such huge fans. Like I said, HoustonLife.tv for all the tour info. And we've got our Bubbly. We'll have it there, and we'll cheers with you at the show. Okay?
I can't wait to see you, babe. And thank you, everybody. I love you, Houston. We'll see you soon.
For a second there, Lauren, I thought you moved up your wedding date. When you're like September 13th.
We're going to get married on stage at the Michael Bublé show. No.
Venue problems solved.
He is so cool.
So cool.
He is so cool. And we went to see him in Vegas a few months ago. Fell in love when we just booked our tickets for Toyota Center. You got to check him out. You'll be a fan, I promise.
Definitely going. And I'm glad he understands the assignment that we want to hear it all. We don't want to hear anything new.
Play the hits. Just play the hits. And he will. He's so great. Once again, that direct link if you want to purchase tickets to Michael's shows at HoustonLife.tv.
Did you buy 2 more, I hope?
I don't know.
4 more?
There's always room for more. Of course, duh.
Otherwise, your phone upside down. We'll be right back.
I'll buy them right now.
I want to.
For her unbelievable soccer skills. There she is on your screen. She's just 13 years old. She's going to stop by Houston Life to show us some moves.
And listen, get ready to rock out. They've been rocking like a hurricane for 5 decades. The band Scorpions is chatting all about their new tour that's got to stop right here in Houston later this year. Listen, that brings back some serious 80s hair for me. I love it.
Can't wait to see that. 5 decades still going.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for us today.
We'll see you tomorrow. The news at 4 o'clock is next.